week 4 of the fantasy baseball season. Here's a few hitters I look to sell and trade this week. The first hitter, Tyler Soderstrom of the Athletics. Soderstrom off to a monster start, tied for the league in home runs on the year. 9 home runs, 19 RBIs, 17 runs scored, a 298 average, and a 362 on base. Now with one of their top prospects, Nick Kurtz, coming up. It's going to add more protection to this Athletic lineup, no doubt about it. But like I said, Soderstrom leading the league in home runs. That's not going to last all season long, where he already matched his total from last season in 105 less at-bats as Soderstrom. And he don't qualify a catcher as well like he did last season and first base. So Soderstrom, like I said, the power's been there. But I think the average is going to drop in the last 2 games. He struck out 3 times in both those games. April 16th at the White Sox, 1 for 4 run. April 17th at the White Sox, 1 for 5, a homer and RBI. April 18th at the Brewers, 2 for 4 and RBI. April 19th at the Brewers, 0 for 4. And April 20th at the Brewers, 0 for 3. So Soderstrom, the last 2 games, has struck out 6 times. I think his numbers are going to start going down a little bit. I think pitchers are going to start attacking him differently, where he's going to have to make adjustments. So right now, no doubt, he's off to a great start, and he plays in a small ballpark where that ball really carries in that minor league stadium over there in Sacramento. But I think Soderstrom is going to slow down, and right now, while he's at peak value, I would sell him high this week. Next hitter, Brendan Donovan of the St. Louis Cardinals. So this Cardinal team, they don't got a lot of bright spots going into the season, and Brendan Donovan, great utility type of player, second, third outfield qualifies for in fantasy baseball, and his batting average is way up there this season in the early going on the year. 3 home runs, 13 RBIs, 3 stolen bases, 14 runs scored, a 356 average, and a 387 on base. So Donovan swinging early in the count, on base percentage only 31 points higher than obviously his batting average, and he's not going to hit the whole year obviously high 300, so pretty much he's going to be a batting average guy, and someone who will hit anywhere 15, 18 home run range, 60, 70 RBIs, not really going to steal bases, is Donovan. So right now, well, his numbers inflated, and his ranking is up there in fantasy baseball because of his batting average. He's a sell high hitter this week as well. April 17th at the Mets, 1 for 4, an RBI, a stolen base. April 18th at the Mets, 2 for 4, a homer, an RBI, 3 runs scored. April 19th at the Mets, 0 for 4. April 20th at the Mets, 1 for 4, run. And April 21st at the Braves, 1 for 3. So like I said, he's playing good baseball, Donovan. Batting average in the 350s right now for the St. Louis Cardinal team. But it's a lot of early count swinging, and teams are going to adjust and pitch him differently as well, where they're going to try to make him chase a little bit and stuff as Donovan. Well, where obviously I think the average is going to drop. And like I said, he's middle of the pack to below average with the power and the RBI. So right now, while he's playing good and he has great versatility in fantasy baseball, where his value could be even higher, is Donovan in a trade. He's a sell high hitter this week. The next hitter, Spencer Torkelson of the Detroit Tigers. So after the disaster season last year with some injuries and sent down to the minor leagues, struggling minor league, Torkelson's off to a monster start on the year. 7 home runs, 21 RBIs, 17 runs scored, a stolen base, a 288 average, and a 392 on base percentage on the year for Torkelson. So Torkelson, I know 2 seasons ago, he hit over 30 home runs with a monster second half for the Tigers, and this season off to a great start, almost matching his home run total from last season where he had 10 and this year with 7. But I think Torkelson, he still has that high strikeout rate. He's a guy that's not going to hit for average, and if he's not going to be hitting home runs as the season goes on, he's not going to bring much, I believe, for fantasy owners. So I would sell him high. Well, he's doing everything well with Torkelson. Good batting average, obviously. Home runs, RBIs are there in the first few weeks of the season. April 18th versus the Royals, 1 for 3, a run, 2 RBIs. April 19th versus the Royals, 1 for 3, a homer, 3 RBIs. April 20th versus the Royals, 1 for 4. And April 21st versus the Padres, 1 for 4. So Torkelson, I believe the power is legit. But besides that, he's a one-trick pony for the most part when it's all said and done this season, where like I said, he's a 230, 240 hitter. I know he was the number 1 prospect in all Major League Baseball 3-4 seasons ago, is Torkelson. And maybe in his 3rd full season, he'll get things going here. I just think going off his track record, he's playing above his head right now is Torkelson. And while he's playing good, and someone who's picked up off the waiver wire over the last couple of weeks, and anytime you could do that and flip a player like that in a deal for someone with more upside, obviously, or someone who's a more proven, has a good track record, this will be the time to deal with the next hitter, Cedric Mullins of the Baltimore Orioles. He's been on this list a lot so far in the early going is Mullins. On the year, 6 home runs, 19 RBIs, 3 stolen bases, 15 runs scored, a 84 average, and a 429 on base. He's got a great eye at the plate so far this season is Mullins. His power numbers are definitely up there. I know he hit 18 home runs last year, and the only thing that's down for him so far with everything up in the early going is the stolen bases, stealing 32 bags last season and 3 so far, so he's got more of the power stroke going as Mullins, but I believe it's not going to hold up for him, especially in category leagues. He's ranked 11th overall in Major League Baseball, and also a 429 on base percentage. Very tough to sustain all season long. April 17th versus the Guardians 0-3. April 18th versus the Reds 1-4. Homer RBI. April 19th versus the Reds 1-3. Homer RBI, 2 runs scored. And April 20th versus the Reds 1-5. So no doubt about it. He's going out there. He's putting up numbers as Cedric Mullins. He's doing a little bit of everything. And he's a sell-high candidate. Last season he hit 234. He's not really known for a big batting average guy throughout his career. I know stolen bases will get there on the season, but batting average, on base percentage is going to drop mightily, I believe, for Mullins. And the home runs, yeah, they'll be in that 15-20 range, 50-60 RBI range. But like I said, he's playing way over average throughout his career as Mullins, and he's a sell-high hitter this week, where I think you could get a good starting pitcher in a deal. If you need a middle infielder for the outfielder Mullins, this would be the time to do it. And the final hitter I look to sell and trade, Steven Kwan of the Cleveland Guardians. I know Kwan, he's obviously a hit machine. He'll hit in that 290, 300 range, but he's not going to bring much else for fantasy owners, is Steven Kwan. Besides batting average and on-base percentage, everything else is mid to below average. On year, 4 home runs, 14 RBIs, 3 stolen bases, 16 runs scored, a 325 average, and a 385 on base. So his average we saw last season was in the 350s, 360 range in the first month of the season for Steven Kwan. Then he came back down to earth and finished the year hitting 290, which nowadays obviously is a great batting average, no doubt about it. And even going back, if you could hit the ball 3 out of 10 times, you're a big-time hitter, obviously. So Kwan, we know he's going to get the multiple hit games, but he's not doing enough when it's all said and done, power, RBI-wise, or even scoring runs as Kwan. And he'll steal anywhere from 15, 20 stolen bases. April 17th at Baltimore, 1-4. April 18th at the Pirates, 2-4. April 19th at the Pirates, 2-4 in RBI, a stolen base. April 20th at the Pirates, 1-4, a homer, 2 RBIs. And April 21st versus the Yankees, 2-4, 2 runs and a stolen base. He's playing great, no doubt about it, is Steven Kwan. But I don't think his batting average is going to stay up to this level all season long. And even the on-base percentage, I believe, will drop off 15, 20 points as well as the weeks and the season goes on. But like I said, batting average will be there at the end of the year. I just don't think in the 330s, 340 range. And also the power numbers are off to a great start for him. But I think at most he's going to poke 15, 16 home runs, which is still a decent season for Steven Kwan. But right now, with the start he's on, I believe some of these numbers are going to tail off a little bit. That's a few hitters I look to sell and trade for week 4 of the fantasy baseball season.